It is absolutely beautiful outside, guys. I did want to go ahead and harvest these potatoes in this bed. I leave tomorrow, and so I wanted to make sure that I harvested some stuff before harvested this bed before I left. So the potatoes in this bed, I think, are the organic potatoes that were store-bought, that I bought from, they were just organic potatoes. And the grasshoppers, the Luber grasshoppers, okay, they're not normal grasshoppers, ate all of my potato leaves. So they prematurely killed my potatoes. People are gonna say, get gloves, and why don't I have gloves, and all of that. I keep saying it, so I'm gonna keep saying it again. I don't like gloves, and I don't mind digging my hands in soil as long as it's not wet soil. The soil isn't wet because it hasn't rained in a few days, so it does not bother me that the soil, as long as the soil's dry. So you can see on this one, this has so many baby potatoes on here, more than 10, but they never got to grow really large because of them getting, the tops getting eaten. And last time I tried to leave potatoes in the ground that the tops had gotten eaten last year, the baby potatoes just started sprouting and then just started growing more potatoes. So I didn't want to do that this year. Ooh. So that's why I'm harvesting them. I just put that potato back in the ground that had all of the small potatoes on it, because last year I tried that as well. Just put the potatoes back in the ground that had small potatoes on them, and then they just come back next year, or even after like this dies back, they'll just come back. So that's what I'm going to do again. Let me get this whole bed harvested.
What? The plant? We just pull out a plant to start harvesting?
No, Jade. So this is what we were able to get out of that bed, which isn't great, but it's better than nothing. This is a 3-gallon bucket full of potatoes. But when you consider that, so this is actually, I feel like these beds, these log raised beds, were about 20, either 17, I think they were 17 feet long, and I probably maybe 2 by 17, which is like 34 square feet of potatoes. It isn't great to only get like a 3-gallon bucket full, but all of these small ones, so all of the small ones that are this big, we just am putting them back in the ground, and they will be a second harvest. Last year when I left all of the small potatoes inside the ground, there were ones that had holes in them. I just left them in the ground, and that's why I have volunteer potatoes this year, because that's really tiny, and they will come back. we have a long growing season, so I could even take those potatoes that we just harvested and technically replant them again. But we also have other places where I planted potatoes in this bed right next door that also has potatoes, and then I have a metal raised bed that has potatoes. So actually I think I have 2 metal raised beds that have potatoes. So definitely still have lots of places that have potatoes, enough to be able to get another harvest from them, which is really, really nice. But I'm glad that I got those potatoes harvested. And these potatoes right next door are looking way better, so that is nice. I was just walking by and I actually saw this bed. So this is another bed of potatoes that I actually forgot about. So I have lots of potato options now that I'm walking around. So lots of chances to still get good harvest of potatoes. I have enlisted Anaya's help for when I leave, to make sure the hoop house is watered and to check on Jade. Stop splashing me with your water. Jade is down here.
And this was going to pool to something to do out here.
She was inside one of these pools, and now that I came out the garden, because she was outside the garden waiting for me, she is following me and splashing water on my feet and my ankles. But yes, I have enlisted, stop Jade, I've enlisted the help of Anaya to keep my greenhouse watered every day, and to also harvest. I showed her where any of the things that we're growing that will not be ready for harvesting. Well, today they're not ready for harvesting before I leave in the morning, and so they'll probably be ready for harvesting in about 2 days, as far as squash and cucumbers. And they'll just eat the cucumbers fresh. But put Jade in her cage. They'll just eat the cucumbers fresh, but as far as like the squash and stuff, it's hot. I'll have to show them. Can you put Jade in her cage? I'll have to show them. Jade, leave my shoe. I'll have to show them what to do with the squash. Speaking of squash, we still have the squash from yesterday that I harvested. So we have these cucuzzis, which they had blossom end rot. So I'm just going to cut off, ouch! I'm just going to cut off those ends. But then we also have these squash that are harvested, as well as 2 tomatoes. My children did eat. I think I harvested, I don't know how many tomatoes I harvested, but they did eat 1, I know definitely. My daughter's fighting with Jade to get Jade in her cage, so let me be back. Okay, last time I shredded these squash, so I just cut that off and it's just perfectly fine. Last time I harvested squash, I freeze dried them. I'm actually the only one who knows how to, it's just a squash. I'm the only one who knows how to work the freeze dry in my home, so, and I don't want to put that pressure on my husband when he's going to be taking care of all of the animals with the girls. So I am actually going to freeze the squash after I shred it, and then when I get back, I'll be able to deal with it on my own time.
Yeah. I can shred.
I know you can shred. So you need to go get the shredder.
The what?
The shredder.
What's that?
The food processor. To shred these. The food processor.
I don't know what that is.
Get the food processor.
What?
Naya.
Oh, they make shred cheese?
Yes.
Mommy, that's a tomato.
Yeah. Yeah, you wanna wash it? I said, do you wanna wash it? What do you say? Yeah. I think most recipes to make muffins call for 2 cups of like zucchinis, and so I am just going to store them into 2 cups in these Ziploc bags. We're just using our food processor. Nehemiah is shredding it for me. Hi, Nehemiah. Why you look like that? Guess what? It is really loud. For some reason, my food processor seems louder than normal, so I don't know what's up with that, so I'm not gonna record while it is going, but that's what we're doing, and I wanted to show you. We ended up with 13 cups of this shredded squash. Each one of these are 6 packages, and each one has 2 cups, and then I had 1 extra cup. I am going to put these on a flat sheet that I'm gonna get from in the kitchen. And then I'm going to freeze them in my freezer, probably the freezer in my garage. I have a stand-up freezer in my garage. So I'm just gonna lay them flat like this on here, freeze them. And put them in the freezer like that and let them freeze flat. I'm gonna get this stuff cleaned up, and like I've said, previous video, I'm actually out of the country on a missionary trip with my son when you'll be seeing this, but hopefully I will be back in person live when we get back from our trip. Be gone a week, so I kind of spaced my videos out a little more than I would normally if I was here, but I wanted you guys to be able to still have content while I was away, because I will not be filming that week. So thank you guys for hanging out with me while we're in the garden and in the kitchen, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.